Mom, I can explain. These people are creating a costume. Nothing is happening between these two. It's not bad. My Dress Up Darling's first episodes had a great start to a series that could have been the most generic romance to be seen. It had a lot going for it, and it did a lot of things right, if not perfectly. Okay, I know I was jumping to big conclusions, but let's just rewind a bit. It is one thing to watch anime and read manga, but it's a whole nother world when you dress up as a character from those stories, whether it be Deku, Naruto, or even Germany from the Italia series. You are still representing those stories, and that's what's interesting to me. I still appreciate every bit of detail and people's unique take on a character, whether it be great or horrible. Cosplay is one of the best ways, in my opinion, to show how much you love the story you are representing. And it does require a lot of work, a lot of creativity, and I'm being very serious. Just look at these, the attention to detail. Sometimes it's a one-person process, or maybe even two, but what happens if you were in that two-person process? One helps create the cosplay, but the other just wears it. Well, that's the story of My Dress Up Darling. My Dress Up Darling is a romance and slice of life anime based on a popular manga series by Shinichi Fukada, which was pretty well received. It's currently being adapted into the medium of anime by Studio Clover Works. They have a pretty good anime under their belt, and yeah, that one. Okay, not that one. Okay, I guess that was good. No, not that one. Yo, you can stop. You can stop now. What sets My Dress Up Darling Episode 1 apart from the other of its kind are the main character's fixation on their hobbies, more specifically, clothes. It is somewhat a unique interest to have in a show that's really horny. The other thing that makes it uniquely positioned to be highly successful is that it boasts a serious contender for the highly objective title of Best Girl of the Year. I'm being serious. We're only 1 month into the year, and the amount of thirst trap TikToks I've seen of Mima is crazy. It is wild. Keisuke Shinohara is directing this anime. He had been directly involved in the productions of various anime series in the past, like Wonder Egg Priority, the anime that had a lot of fluff but no substance, and Devilman Crybaby. Now the studio has gotten its hand upon another beloved manga property, and nothing can really go wrong. It would be unfair to judge the show based on the sins of its predecessors, so let's just let go of the past and focus on the present. I know that's a really hard thing to say, but let's just do it right now. The story starts off with Wakana Gojo, a 15-year-old boy with an unorthodox passion. He dreams of being a master doll maker like his grandfather. He specifically makes Hina dolls, which are traditional dolls often sold in sets and given to young girls. From childhood, Wakana had been enchanted by the dolls his grandfather created and thinks they're what the word pretty was made to describe. However, his love of Hina dolls is not shared by his peers since it's so random and so niche. In fact, his reoccurring nightmare consists of a little girl calling him gross for liking something meant only for girls. That's kind of relatable. So rather than be ridiculed for his interest, Wakana is the school loner, just like your average isekai consumer. He tells his grandfather that he has friends, but it's merely a ruse to ease the old man's worry, like what you say to your parents. Wakana sees himself as an outsider among his classmates, thinking that his peers come from a different planet than him, but that is not really a way he should live. He particularly thinks this of people like Marin Kitigawa, a powerful, cheerful girl who's always the center of attention, untouchable. From the first time she appears on the page, Wakana looks at her with obvious interest, but she's only someone that he can admire from afar. While the actual main character, Gojo, is rather plain and generic, Marin more than makes up for him with her bombastic, boisterous, and bold personality. She is of course very kind, easygoing underneath that exterior. The more we watch the show, we see the dynamic between the two characters has worked very well, and since it's a slice of life and romantic show, that was a huge hurdle that the show absolutely had to cross to be good, to make sure it separates itself from the rest in, well, a generic genre. Thanks to his sewing machine breaking, Wakana decides to use the ones in the school's home economics room to continue his latest project. He meets Kitigawa again when she walks in on him setting up, but contrary to his fears, she does not react negatively. She's amazed that he knows how to use a sewing machine and compliments the doll head that he brought along with with him. She thinks that the face is gorgeous and specifically points out the eyes. Then she shares the reason she's there with Wakana by showing off something she's been working on in secret. In this admittedly fan-servicey show, we get to explore who she is. She has been spending time after school trying to make her very first cosplay, but her sewing skills leave a lot to be desired. And to be honest, it really sucks. Just look, she looks like a potato sack. Oh my god. The dress she tried to make looked like a formless sack over a body. It's not good, and Wakana immediately sees several issues with its construction. He approaches the situation very condescendingly, but he immediately regrets what he said to her, not realizing how impactful those words were to her. Kitigawa asks him if he'd be willing to help her make the cosplay of her dreams, and he agrees. As the story continues on, the pair go over the basics of cosplay creation, from measuring Marin's proportions. Also, this episode was really horny. What may distract, though, is the sexual lens put on the series from Wakana's perspective. It is painfully obvious that he's attracted to her, as a very sensual image of her comes directly from his point of view. The series so far has a strong message about living your truth, and she's the one preaching that ceremony. I know that's really deep for a slice of life romance. She's unapologetically an otaku and calls out anyone who makes fun of her interest, which makes her a great companion for Wakana, who had struggled with people mocking him for his whole life. She's confident and comfortable with her body, but she also calls things as she sees them. She doesn't like people being treated unfairly and tells Wakana again and again that he should tell people that he feels things rather than keep it to himself. She embraces her passions in a way Wakana wishes he had that confidence too, and validates his skills in a way he's never been subject to before. With her by his side, I hope there's going to be steady growth from Wakana when it comes to his confidence. I want her to have a positive influence on him so that he can embrace himself when others belittle what he likes. I know for a fact that these two characters will get closer and develop romantically. It's not really hard to figure out when Japanese title translates to the bisque doll that fell in love. I want him to evolve as a person before they become an item. The mutual attraction there with the way Marin reacted to him being so close while measuring her. Now we just wait and see if these characters can bond as people and help each other be better off in a life they love. Say what you will about Clover Works storytelling. The studio has always been very good at animation, and these episodes are really no different. The show is very vibrant and colorful, and it's a pretty good adaptation. Shinichi Fukada knows how to tell a story of two so different people from one another. Something so small can bring people together and have a positive influence. Shinichi Fukada's My Dress Up Darling was well received, and it should not come to a surprise. The first episodes was a great start to a series that could have been very botched and, well, ruined if handled incorrectly. Opposites can sometimes attract, and that's the story he's telling, and that's the hidden lesson in My Dress Up Darling.